Fear and uncertainty create the perfect condition for some criminals to thrive.
The coronavirus pandemic has now reached almost every corner of the continent.
In the past 2 weeks, the number of cases of COVID-19 outside China has increased 13-fold.
In Africa, deaths from coronavirus have been some of the lowest in the world. But the fear the COVID-19 pandemic has created has also been an opportunity for some people. An opportunity for fame.
Let there be discovery of vaccines, discovery of medical cure, let there be discovery of total eradication of coronavirus.
An opportunity for making so-called cures.
If you take it from me, you are going to use it. I have 100% confidence.
Yeah, rather than COVID.
Yeah.
No man.
Oh,
The cure.
it's okay.
An opportunity to make money.
Fake medicines have profit margins sometimes equivalent or more than narcotics.
150,000. 150,000 guys. Okay.
I am undercover journalist Anas Arimiyao Anas. I keep my face and my identity secret to protect me from the crooks I expose. I have been investigating quack doctors in Ghana, men who illegally sell concoction they claim can treat coronavirus. Products we discovered that contained potentially dangerous and toxic ingredients. Since the COVID-19 pandemic began, hundreds of videos have surfaced on social media across Africa of people claiming to have a cure for the virus.
Good day. My own name is Prophetess Dupe Oluwaniyi. I brought the cure of the coronavirus. Yes.
Pepper is a very solid cure for coronavirus. Yes, pepper.
Onion. They neutralize and suppress all sorts of virus from the body.
Although herbal medicine plays an essential part in many countries on the continent, these social media claims are misleading and have no basis in science.
Coronavirus can fall and die.
We spoke to one herbalist in Nigeria, Dr. Ben Amudu, who claims to have developed a series of miracle drugs that cures COVID-19.
COVID-19 as an oral vaccine is the one to beat. And it is good to go for the cure, the prevention and cure of coronavirus.
He claimed his concoction could cure a range of chronic illness beyond coronavirus, including cancer and HIV, and despite his own apparent ill health.
The capacity of this is beyond imagination. It has very strong immune-boosting properties. And it has the capacity to prevent and cure cancer of the throat, HIV/AIDS, hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E. To date, I cure all of them, to the glory of God.
Dr. Amudu's COVID cures have not been clinically tested, making it impossible to verify or debunk his claims. There is no known cure for cancer, HIV, or coronavirus. Claiming to have a cure for a disease is not itself illegal, but in most countries, actively selling a medicine that has not been approved by the local regulator does break the law.
There is no miraculous cure for coronavirus at the moment. And I'd like to appeal to everyone that please do not be caught in anybody promoting a product for a cure.
Fake or contaminated drugs are dangerous. WHO estimates as many as 100,000 people die from them every year in Africa.
Using untested medicines without the right evidence could do more harm than good.
Bright Simmons, founder of a counterfeit medicine detection platform, is one of the world's leading experts on fake medicines in Africa.
If you take the period over which COVID-19 has been in Africa, mid-February to now, the number of people that have died of COVID-19 is about 2,500 and a bit more. But the number of people that have died from counterfeit anti-malarials alone is about 30,000. These measures begin to give you an appreciation of the sheer enormity of the tax that we're confronted with.
During Ghana's lockdown, one man claimed loudly on radio he had discovered a cure for coronavirus. He calls himself Dr. Abdallah.
How sure are you, sir, when you are a cure COVID-19?
Well, my confidence level is 99.9.
Knowing that it's illegal to sell a medicine that has not been tested, Dr. Abdallah claimed he was waiting for the FDA to sample his drugs and was adamant it is not for sale.
The necessary agencies, that is all.
Dr. Abdallah then broadcast his phone number on the radio.
My number is 0547.
Later, we called him and asked for his help curing our coronavirus-infected brother. He invited us to meet with him in his office just outside Accra. Inside, the walls were covered with bottles. He claimed the space was used for laboratory testing.
Wow.
He told us he had been flooded with calls after he publicized his concoction on the radio.
The whole day from Amapato, the calls on Corana, the phones more. Calls are different. And found because I know they say we know to have out and the confidence have a shaman from say, see, I don't know, yes, sir, yes, sir. The home jump try. Because we know the potential of our medicine.
He said he is 100% confident it can treat coronavirus.
If you take it from me, you are going to use it. I have 100% confidence. What I say. Because the young say the amount for the break. Because everybody's of course name and the amount will fear no one negative comment.
He boasted the liquid could treat thousands of people.
The number of rice in the food bag sack, I don't know what the kilos, that big sack, is equivalent to the number of people who can affect.
Dr. Abdallah also claimed the miracle concoction can treat HIV.
People say, hey, we are sure, because I'm up for China for it. HIV, I'm not say HIV, they don't. But we have to take HIV, confidential.
The mastermind of the scam then joined the conversation.
This is the senior Dr. Abdallah. And I am the junior. Younger brother of that. Okay. So he's the overall boss in everything.
The two men even claimed people were leaving coronavirus quarantine in hospitals to seek out their drug. They initially demanded 5,000 cedis for a bottle, then 2,500. We had to beg to lower the price.
2,500.
To persuade us, he told us stories of the medicine curing symptoms in just 30 minutes.
Wow. 30 minutes.
We asked Professor Gordon Awandare of the University of Ghana if this is even possible.
To claim cure in 30 minutes, that would be ridiculous. The human system does not turn around that quickly. Even if you had a good drug, it won't take 30 minutes to kill all the viruses that are in the person. A big flag is usually those that claim to cure everything. You know, that is just not possible. Scientifically, it's not possible.
Within 30 minutes, when you partner in the near to hi.
Then it was time to pay. The price was settled at 1,000 cedis, $172. The cure came in the form of 3 bottles. Before leaving, Dr. Abdallah Sr. warned us one of them will cause serious diarrhea. We took the bottles and left. Dr. Abdallah's drug had a fake FDA registration number on its label. Falsified medicines like this can have deadly consequences. A reality Dr. Bonmai of a major hospital in Accra knows only too well.
Back in 2012, I personally had a close shave with a fake anti-malarial that nearly cost me my life.
In 2016, Dr. Bonmai dealt with yet another suspected case of fake medicines. A 16-year-old boy was brought into the hospital in critical condition, having taken malaria tablet from a street-side store. He died soon afterwards.
Within 12 hours on admission, he started deteriorating. His liver function test came out 50 times the upper limit. It was a needless waste of life. It was a big blow to the family. I saw how close the family was. Even now, years on, I don't know how they'll be able to cope with the loss of a boy at the prime of his life. This is a case that keeps me up at night, thinking of this life that could have been saved. It's a doctor's worst nightmare, actually. Fake medication, counterfeit medications can lead to death, can kill people.
One product, above all others, drew controversy during the coronavirus lockdown: Coa FX.
Italy and Ivory Coast are some of the countries hoping to invest and investigate Coa FX as a possible cure for coronavirus.
Although legally registered as a food supplement, the creator of the drug, Samuel Atudankan, claimed on multiple TV stations it had treated infected patients in China.
We're talking about a possible cure for a coronavirus. It's an international breakthrough.
Coa FX sales boomed and social media exploded with tales of the so-called cure.
First 2 patients of the COVID-19 who were at the verge of death recovered after 5 days of administering the organic supplement.
We had a lot of testimony from people purporting to have been saved in different ways by this medicine, giving testimony upon testimony in WhatsApp group after WhatsApp group. It means that the effective controls on advertising that are in place in every civilized country, including Ghana, could not apply to them. They've turned a lot of our regulatory standards upside down.
This was not the first time Duncan had triggered a media storm.
The Coa FX drug, since its introduction on the Ghanaian market, has been highly projected as a drug for curing HIV/AIDS.
And it's treating cancer cases, treating kidney failures, treating mass stroke, treating.
Under pressure from the FDA, Duncan issued a disclaimer on the 15th March, stating his product is not a cure for coronavirus.
So nobody should go out there and say the Center for Awareness Global Peace Meeting says they have found cure for coronavirus. It is not scientific and hence not conclusive.
But away from the TV cameras, we found evidence a Coa agent continued to market the supplement as a COVID-19 cure to customers in private, breaking FDA rules and misleading people into buying the drug for the company's profit. We went to the Coa FX office in Accra to capture this behavior on camera. Kafui, a Coa store manager, assured us the products we had come to buy were genuine, safe, and from their own storerooms.
And I don't know, we have limited stock, so we prefer people come here directly and get it from store. Among them, they are on the safer side. But over time, we don't know whether we find and now
When we asked Kafui if Kwa FS could cure coronavirus, he told us it can.
Say, yeah, brother, COVID, no man.
He gave us clear instruction on how to administer the liquid.
And now, Corona and you're no direct. Corona no, you're direct. Okay.
Briefly, he removed his mask so we could see his face. Then it was time to pay. He brought us a bottle of the drug. When we asked how much should be given to patient, we were told all that mattered was money.
How many bottles now? So,
The account. Once it's all about your funds, so which like
3 days after this meeting, the FDA tested samples of Kwa FX and found them to contain the bacteria E. coli, which often derives from feces. The agency recalled all core supplements from the market in response. Our attention then turned back to the Abdallah brothers. In the days after our first meeting, they called us, encouraging us to purchase more coronavirus cures. They made increasingly sensational claims, telling us they were treating the vice president of Senegal's family, who they say were infected with COVID-19.
President, Senegal president, vice president.
It's impossible the Abdallahs actually contacted the vice president of Senegal. The role of the vice president does not currently exist in that country. We planned to meet the two brothers again to discuss a larger deal. They thought they had me on the hook, but little did they know I was not just another victim. I wanted to see how far their fraud will go. I wanted to see deeper into the mind of a scammer. They were staying in a remote house on the edge of Accra. What I found inside shocked me. More than 100 bottles of fake cure.
Very strong power.
Over the next few minutes, Dr. Abdallah Sr. began to boast of knowing some of the most powerful people in Ghana. He claimed he was doing a deal with the king of Ashanti, the Asantehene.
$150.
We spoke to the Asantehene and they told us these claims are completely false. It was all a smokescreen to try and impress us. The younger Abdallah told us he had given the drug to others and that they were sharing positive testimonies on social media. According to counterfeit medicine expert Bright Simmons, the COVID-19 pandemic has been a time of great opportunity for such social media quacks.
Today, a huge number of people get information about everything, including medical and health information on social media networks. We don't have a blueprint, we don't have a rule book of how you deal with misinformation at a large scale during a pandemic in an age of social media and an age where trust in established institutions and leaders is at an all-time low. That confluence of forces is completely unprecedented. It becomes very easy for a scammer, for a snake oil salesperson to quickly move into the breach.
Dr. Abdallah Jr. made it clear to us that their drug production strategy is designed to maximize profit during the pandemic.
I say, oh, say if you are no direct to them, and then this will find the tea, Obeka said, a hot cake.
Then things grew more sinister. Dr. Abdallah Sr. did his best to persuade me he is a man of mysterious spiritual power. He claimed he is invincible. In his increasingly elaborate attempt to showcase his power, he even claimed he was responsible for the downfall of President Yahya Jammeh in Gambia. Then the talk turned to money. They demanded 150,000 Ghana cedis, over $25,000 for 100 bottles of their concoction.
150,000. 150,000 Ghana cedis. Okay.
Before leaving, he told me the number of coronavirus patients he was treating had expanded. They thought they had hit a jackpot, but we would never come back and pay for the drugs. We gathered all the so-called cures we had collected and took them to the Ghana Standard Authority. This is where prospective medicines are tested before going to the market. It's one of the best laboratories in Ghana.
And what brings you here this time?
These are various concoctions that we have collected, and we are here to test it. Testing the efficacy of drugs requires clinical trials. So instead, we submitted them for toxicology tests to check if the product contained any dangerous biological or chemical ingredients. After days of analysis, we returned to collect the results. All the concoctions failed to meet the standard for human consumption. Dr. Abdallah's bottles were contaminated with unacceptable levels of bacteria and mold. Further tests will be needed to determine what threats these contaminants could pose to patients. But depending on the dosage and how long the products are kept, they have the potential to cause serious illness, including diarrhea and other gastrointestinal symptoms.
There's the potential for the bacteria to multiply and then become much more dangerous to consume after a few weeks.
The sealed Core FX samples contained levels of mold that were too high to be counted.
Humans should be able to tolerate low levels of these, but the fact that the test picked them up means that these were above the acceptable levels.
Both the Core FX and Dr. Abdallah samples were also flagged for containing phosphine, which, depending on the quantity, could pose dangers. We put our findings to the director of the FDA.
So far as we are concerned, there's no product that has been registered according to the laws of Ghana for cure for coronavirus.
Because of the potential dangers it posed, we showed her a bottle of Dr. Abdallah's concoction.
Some indication. Just by looking at the product, I can tell you it's not registered. FDA would never allow you to put this in your product, COVID Cure 1.
Shouldn't this ring a bell to Ghanaians? The FDA doesn't really care about it.
Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. The regulator's mandate is to protect public health and safety. If there's anybody out there and you are falsely putting a product on the market that it goes against the laws of the country, we have regulatory actions and we will come after you. Really, it is a very serious crime. And I'm not joking with this.
She told us the agency would take swift action against anyone selling unregistered medicines.
I'm actually sorry that we have not seen it. But as I say, we are not everywhere. And we, as part of our work, we rely on information. And you have just given me information. And whenever we're given information, we follow through.
Less than 24 hours after our interview, the FDA moved to shut down the production facilities of the Abdallah brothers. They had been on their radar for some time now. The agents found evidence of large-scale production, including almost 300 bottles of so-called COVID cures. Dr. Abdallah Jr. repeatedly tried to persuade the agents he was not selling these concoctions.
Well, we have not sold this thing in any way or the other. We have not sold them out to anybody.
Well, what you have here is in commercial quantities.
We made that in this quantity in the sense that we are waiting for when the approval comes. Well, we did not intend selling.
When asked to explain why a fake FDA number was on the labels, he had no answer.
Well, this number
TNPC number without FDA number. So this is a different one.
We sent our allegations to the Abdallah brothers, and they responded, claiming their product was for testing purposes only, and that they are taking steps to license it. They claimed they never said their product can cure coronavirus, despite it being labeled COVID cure. They also claimed they had never sold their concoction to anybody. Kwa FX and Samuel Ato Duncan did not respond to our allegations.
Cure for coronavirus. This is where we are. That is why we invited you.
After they had gathered all their evidence, the FDA brought the two Abdallah brothers in for questioning. The individuals exposed in this film do not represent the herbal medicine industry as a whole, which provides crucial services to many Ghanaians. Professor Gordon Awandare hopes herbalists and scientists can unite in rooting out the rotten eggs.
You have a few quacks there who they really do a disservice to the industry and to their colleagues, which is unfortunate because there may be some that actually are good. If we don't get rid of the fake ones, then you have a situation where people mistrust the whole enterprise.
At a time of global pandemic, we have a duty as journalists, as citizens, to fight fake medicines and expose the quacks that mislead us. I will always be watching.